Hey guys, Pat here with the in our series of creating a light plot with Vectorworks, and in this video I'm going to show you how to lay out lighting areas on your light plot. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to the moment where we're actually putting lighting instruments on our light plot. So let's get going. Alright, so as you can see from the last video, in the last video we inserted lighting positions. As you can see, I have finished out the rest of the plot with our lighting positions. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide some of this for now, and we're going to work on some other things. So we're going to come up here to our layer dialog box, and we're going to leave lighting visible, and we're going to leave lighting as the current layer. We're going to hide onstage electrics. We're going to make the legs and the scenery grayed. We'll leave house visible, and we're going to make the front of house booms invisible. So if we bring this up, here we go. Here's our scenery, and we should be all set. And our lighting areas we put in will be in the lighting layer. So let's take a look. Now, when we start putting areas into a light plot, usually what you want to do is you want to have an odd number of areas across the light plot, like an area here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is a fairly small proscenium, so I think 5 will work. But usually what I do when I lay out a light plot is I will start just by simply drawing circles, and the circles will represent the beams of light. So I usually when I do my light plots and I figure out lighting areas, I'll start with a 10-foot diameter circle. So I'll start here and I'll make my circle, come over here and change it to 10 feet. There we go. So here's our circle, and I'm going to make sure it's centered right there. So here's I usually start from right downstage center and work from there. So and I always like to have an individual area right downstage center, because almost always the directors will bring the actors downstage center, so this will cover us. So the one thing what I'll do is I'm going to drag and copy. I'm going to Control Shift our lighting areas, and I'm just going to kind of give this, kind of eyeball it. And again, this is sort of like our interpretation of the beams of light on the floor, and we want them to overlap. Okay, that's really important. So I'm gonna move this just a little bit more stage right. So I'm going to shift left arrow, and then I'm going to grab it again and move it over, and there we go. It looks like these 3 circles are sort of evenly spaced. So we have first area, the second area, the third area. Now what I can do I will just mirror it over. I'm going to select this guy and go to our mirror command, and here we have our first row of lighting units, of lighting areas. So now we need to fill. We have space back here that is not lit, and we want to light. So I'm thinking we can probably get by with like 3 areas. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just for grins, I'm going to select these 3 right here, and I'm going to grab them, and again Shift Control to copy and move them up, and I'm going to ooch them up stage just a little bit with the arrow keys. So here's our upstage areas. So now if you look at everything, the whole, here are our walls, okay? And it looks like everything is really quite well covered. The only part left that we have to cover is there's an area back here behind this door, this hallway, and then back here this is a hallway that ostensibly goes off to different parts of the house. So we need to put an area back here. So what we'll do is we'll just drag one of these circles over, and we'll kind of put it right in the center. There we go. There's that, and this guy, we got him right there. So now all parts of our scenic design will be well lit, because we can see right on this plan that everything's covered. So now that we have this done, now what we're going to do is we're going to come over and we're going to actually insert the spotlight focus points. And the focus point tool is right over here, the focus point tool, and we click on it, and we click on the center of the first circle. That's going to be, we're going to name that area A. Oh, area A. And you see where it says focus height here, it says 5 feet. Why do you think it's a 5 foot? Why do you think the focus height is at 5 feet? Well, the reason why that's there is that in many shows you want to see the person's face lit, and most normal people are anywhere from 5 feet to 5 feet 3 inches at the face height. So that right there will ensure that everybody's faces are lit. So we type in the focus point name, 5 feet, and we have focus point A. Now we just come along here and it's going to be quite simple. We click and it automatically populates the focus point with B, C, and so on. E, F, G, H, and then back here behind the door is I, and back in the hallway is J. Now what we can do is we can get rid of these circles. I'm just going to delete them. They serve their purpose, they've served it well, and now they can go away. And we are left with a nice, evenly distributed set of lighting areas. Before we end this video, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these guys back up, and I'm going to open the layer dialog back up, and we can put our electrics back in. So we're going to have the onstage electrics, the front of house electrics, and the boom front. And we click OK, and now here our electrics are they're back in, and you'll see that the everything is all set to go. And I believe in our next video we will be starting to lay in lights into our light plot. So now what you want to do is you want to go to your light plot and kind of do the same thing. Figure out your lighting areas, figure out where they're going to go, and get them in the plot.